Yeah, your screen isn't much better than mine, by the way. But I'll try to enlarge it a little bit for you. Oh, I've enlarged it a little bit too much. That's the best I can do, yeah. That's the best I got. All right, Narcissu by Stage Nana, 2005, 2007. So no audio. It's so deathly quiet. We'll start with this. Eh, Uh, what? What am I? Oh, translation. So original, I guess, and two English teams. I can read GP32's logo. In contrast to Agilis, so I'll go with this one. I gotta quickly check it. It changed, right? Yes. All right. Uh, well, I mean, I don't know. On the one hand, I'm I'm the streamer guy. I have to have something to do. On the other hand, it's apparently a very emotional game, so it's probably best to keep the voice acting intact. You know. Okay, it's Japanese. Oh, is this a little loud?
確かに幼い頃から丈夫な方じゃなかった。
True, I wasn't very healthy ever since I was a child. I can read over it. We can get best of both worlds, since he speaks Japanese. Even so, I attended elementary school like all the others, and during summer breaks I often played until I was utterly tan. June, shortly after my entry into middle school, the day after I'd ordered a swimsuit for use the next month. My first hospitalization. On a day just before the first semester, the midterms, on a day when the first drops of rain were so cruelly cold. Falling from amidst the pure white of the outcast sky. Real Coraline and the DS type music. Hold on, I'm turning it a little bit down. Maybe myself a little bit down. To compensate, you know? Of course, the first time it happened, all my classmates came to visit me almost every day. And when I was released, they even came to my house on weekends to play. But that was only the first time around. Autumn into winter, winter into spring, a vicious cycle. Hospitalization, release, clinics, and hospitalization again. And before I knew it, even the classmates I once called friends turned into acquaintances, and then into strangers. As if with every changing of seasons, I was being erased from the collective memory.
どうやらいい気がしないらしい。
It seemed that to all of those normal people,
普通に生きている人にとって
my
私
very,
の存在ってのは
my very existence was an unpleasant fact.
だから消されたようだった。
And so, it looks like I've been erased.
いくつもの季節、白い梅雨空を誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした。
I spent so many seasons, so many white overcast skies, without the want or need to converse with anybody.
私の英語の教科書は 1年生の中間テスト以降まっさらな状態だった。
For that matter, my English textbook never changed from that of a first-year middle school student before the midterms.
そこで私の時間も止まったらしい。
That is where my time comes to see to an end. Eight years later, early summer 2004, protagonist. Summer, flowing sweat. The gigantic electronic scoreboard in the driver's license examination facility lit up all at once. My eyes and everyone else looked for our respective numbers. 237, 237. And of some 8 columns of lit text, sure enough, my examination number was shining in the mist. So why not? Clickety clack. A nearly empty train car, perhaps thanks to the beautiful afternoon. Almost alone in that train car, I was heading back home from the examination hall. My left hand held a new traffic regulations handbook, and my breast pocket held my brand new driver's license. So now I've got a license as well. I muttered somewhat happily, but there was no strong feelings about it. I never particularly wanted to drive a car. I never particularly had any motive for it. It was just that my colleagues at the Technical Institute both recommended that I at least get a driver's license. That night, when I told my parents that I got my license, they merely replied with an "I see." And when I asked if I could borrow the car just for a test run, they instantly and curtly said just one thing: no. But I didn't really want to drive the car or anything. The response was all too expected. Those were my parents for you. The next day I awoke with chest pain and went to the hospital. Sickness and I generally had nothing to do with each other, which is why I found the ER waiting room to be utterly boring. And just when I thought they were through examining me, they ordered an X-ray and a blood test. Then they left. And again I was left waiting for a long, long time. I had already paused off 3 volumes of Shonen Jump and was just about to start on a 4th when they admitted me to the hospital right then and there. And since my new license was still snugly in my breast pocket, would have to wait a long time for its turn to come. Protagonist, autumn 2004. And we howled at the moon and the real sickness was that we were werewolves. Right around when the all too noisy cicadas had finally gone silent, I once again found myself in the hospital, as per usual. Of course, it wasn't as if I'd been there the entire time. I came and went, a futile cycle. My first surgery was a month before. After that, I started doing the 5-minute commute to and from the hospital by moped. And from then on, I was hospitalized, discharged, ordered to clinic, and hospitalized again, and again. I still had no clue what PET or ERISA stood for. In no time at all, several months had already passed. As my appetite decreased, my medications increased. I could feel my own psychological strength atrophying away. I kept imagining that my legs were getting thinner. But the needle of the weight scale rudely informed me, it's not just your imagination. And yet I kept looking on at myself with a detached interest, as if it were happening to somebody else entirely, as I was looking at a screen seen on TV or the like. My mind could not grasp what had so suddenly happened to my body. Nothing within me was telling me that this was real at all. And that's why, even though it's all happening to me, I kept looking on as if it were happening to someone far away. A day of winter, around where the Christmas trees had vanished from the streets. I was discharged home as a kind of a year's end treat. It seemed like an exercise in total transience, but still, it made me slightly happy. I traveled back to a home I had not seen in a long time in the midst of a freezing rain. Strangely enough, my entire family was there. My parents, who had never so much to talk to me, came out to meet me, if with terribly stilted smiles. And my little sister, whom I've never had a pleasant word with, had my favorite cream stew and fried shrimp just for me. They made me sit at the table. They peeled tangerines for me. They were cruelly kind. It was an impressive display. At this point, a little thought occurred to me about my new driver's license, which was so stuffed away in my pocket. that perhaps things would end for the license without it ever having known any use. And surrounded by a tree of stilted, strange smiles, I kept that thought, as if were someone else's business, with dispassion, ambiguity, and total disinterest. Protagonist, January 2005. A new year began, and I returned to the hospital. I guess I get that it's a visual novel, but is that not? Do not get like dialogues with people? So not like a choose what to say sort of thing? Is it purely just text and images? But on this day, instead of my usual F4 room, I ended up in a conference room of sorts. They took me there. And my father and the doctors had a little talk. I joined in. Well, they talked to me. So this was their so-called announcement. They said in a terribly roundabout fashion but they told me that I was going to die. I see. That was my only reply. I had no other words. It was the only thing that left my mouth from beginning to end. And the doctor's ballpoint pen flew across paper as in response to my words. Those were probably hospice enrollment procedures, businesslike to the last. My father was the same. So it's this simple, was the only real thought I had. That day I was transferred from 4F to 7F. From a 6-person room to a private room. It was a little different from the other wards, this 7F. First of all, the floors were sparkling clean, and second of all, the ceiling was higher than I'd ever seen it. The rooms were very nice and had large windows from which the warm daylight streamed in as by design. But the windows only opened a little. I tested them out and my head would just barely fit out of one. The color of my ID bracelet had changed as well. The bracelet that I had worn ever since the first hospitalizations, the one that had my name and blood type recorded on it, its color had now changed from blue to white. A high ceiling, a white vinyl bracelet, a window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. The TV program celebrating this New Year's was still playing when I was transferred to this 7F. It was at the dawn of that very year that I met her for the first time.
Narcissus.
Is that how you pronounce it? Narcissus? Kissus. Winter 2005, 7F. There was this place kind of like a lounge at one side of the corridor, across from the nurse's station. This genuinely place held a few chairs as well as a large TV, stupid programs commemorating the new year was still being broadcast as that 28-inch screen. And there was a girl who looked absolutely bored watching that absolutely boring TV. Short, in pink pajamas, a white bracelet on her wrist, just like mine. Impressively long-haired, or almost reached down to her hips. Hey, do you find that interesting? There was no deep purpose in that asking. Simply, I had nothing else to do, so I started talking to her. Not really. Was the only reply to me. She didn't turn to face me at all. But kept looking on with boredom at the TV as if it didn't even exist. Then don't watch it. Even as I thought this, I sat down in a chair next to her. And side by side we watched TV, nothing else to do, nothing we could do. And so we sat there silently and watched TV. New Year celebration programs, as per usual. A useless array of comedians and oddities. And every so often, the MC's stupid, shrill laugh recording dryly in this white sun-drenched lounge. Say, tell me. The girl suddenly started talking to me, but her eyes were as always glued to the TV screen. How many times is it for you now? What do you mean by that? How many times have you come here? To 7F. Sorry, I have no clue what you're talking about. I see. So it's your first time then? So, she'd seen my confusion about a question and come to the right conclusion. Then,
私
since
の
there's
役
no
目
one
だ
else
から
around, and since it's my duty,
そういうルールなの。
there's this rule. Nodding slightly, she explained that the rule was that someone here, 7F, should tell newcomers the truth. I knew nothing. I understood even less. As if I did not even exist, she slowly started her
そ
speech.
れじゃあ
Then listen closely. Whoops, I cut her off. Her words, spoken methodically, one by one, were a little different from all the ones I'd heard from the doctors around this place. In their business-like crypt syntaxes, they told me this is the place where one waits for medical advances. This is a place where one heals one heart, and perhaps they may have been correct in their general sense. But according to the girl, that was just a party line. The truth was that this was the only place in the hospital where medical treatments did not take place. This was just a place where you just waited for your life to come to an end. Those were her words to me. I thought so as well. I felt even before she'd spoken.
私
See, this is my second
2
time.
回目だから
Second time doing what?
ここに来るの。
Coming here. And then she explained to me that nobody on 7F stayed here from the initial hospitalization all the way till death. While there was still a possibility of being cured, you were sent home if your constitution was stable. But if it wasn't again, you would be returned here. And that cycle only ended in death. Whether it was a home or here on 7F, always one of the two, you were going to die. No way to escape it, it seemed. And with that meaning permeating her every word, informing that this was her second time up here.
じゃあ一度しか言わないから
I'm only going to say this once,
ここからは
so listen closely now. She continued speaking, all the while staring at the blank TV screen. This wasn't idle chit-chat about when lights out was, or where the kitchen was, or anything like that. This was something completely different. The third time you're discharged at home, resign yourself. There won't be a fourth time. You will never go home again. If you ever want to escape, head toward the B station, not the A station. Eat nothing. This is the simplest shortcut. You have the smallest burden in your family that way. It was as if she packed to the brim with manners like those. This was probably an oral tradition, relevant only to those who were going to die, and kept by those who came here for that purpose. So this is the duty that we were talking about. Yes, that's
そう
right.
よいつかあなたも
So do remember to perform it for a newcomer yourself someday.
伝
Okay?
えてね
With those words, she slowly stood up. She carefully tossed her long hair, and it grazed my nose.
じゃ
I have to go get my temperature measured, so. Then she turned her back and started walking down the corridor. Now completely deserted, save for me, the lounge only held the laughter from her TV and the white flowers by the windowsill. In the end, she didn't even look at me once. A few days later, New Year celebrations were over, and the middle and high school students were beginning a new term. And just as ever, she and I sat in this lounge, staring blankly at the TV. This is boring.
あそうね
So it is. So we said, but both of us kept our eyes on the screen. Hey, is this place always this way?
質問の意味がわからない
I don't understand what you're getting at. I'm getting at how it's always deserted. Hey, Seppi! Welcome in. I'm playing a depressed visual novel. How was stream, by the way? Other than the nurses, doctors, and help staff, and other than her, I had not seen a single person. Did everybody go home for the new year or something?
その理由を知りたいの
Do you really want to know? Well, I didn't mean...
じゃあ言わない
Then I won't tell you. We, who disinterestedly tossed back and forth this exchange that could not have even be called a conversation, the slight breeze coming from the window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. From time to time her hair would sway, and it was in agreement the flowers at the window still would too. Yes! Welcome, you two. It was really good. It was drawing, so I'm really happy. That's great to hear. It's called... Well, you can see it. It should have changed. It's called Narcissus. This was how we killed time, day after day, staring at that boring, good-for-nothing TV. I only know that it's depressing, and we are a fake dying hospital boy, talking to an equally dying hospital girl. Oh, here the two of you are, an elderly nurse said as she rushed towards us. From what I had seen of the nurse's station, she was apparently the charge nurse of 7F. Well, Mitsetsumi, any fever? I'm fine, no fever. Setsumi. Oh, Setsumi, so that was her name. You really shouldn't be moving around like this. Do you understand? Everyone's worried about you. Well, whatever. Come on now, what kind of answer is that? Oh, children these days. Jeanette continued to scold and henpeck for some while longer. And the girl Ned said to me, just pretended not to notice it at all. She simply stared straight forward at that boring TV, praying that fuzzy nurse as little heed as she could. I'll be called later to draw some blood, okay? With those words, the changed nurse went back to the nurse's station. My phone's glitching out and I'm hearing double. Oh no! Hey, well, mind if I call you Setsumi? I asked this as I stared at her white vinyl ID bracelet and the blood type and the name written therein. Is something the matter, Setsumi? Why are you calling me that? Huh? You're younger than me. Hey, why am I younger than you? Nothing. That's just what I thought is all. It wasn't that I was offended she called me younger than her. Yeah, I was sure. It was just that no matter how I looked at it, I thought I was 5 or 6 years older than she was. That's why I took out my driver's license from my breast pocket and handed it directly to her. We're beefing with a kid. See, I am older. I'll fucking dare you. Is it maybe my stream? Jack, is this happening to you too? It seems so dreary. Is everyone dying or something? Yes. This is the hospital where the nurses but they send patients that they pretty much just go, I don't think that these guys are lost cause. Just give them a nice sterile place. Alright. Well, that sucks, Abby. Everyone's dying. We're dying. The little girl is dying. See? I may not seem it, but I'm 20. So you're younger after all. She only took a glance at my license before handing it back to me. I don't really get what you're saying. It doesn't really matter. I'm just a little older than you are, that's all. She murmured, as expressionless as ever. Her eyes were fixed on that boring TV. Alright, but it also felt as she was glazing at something far away. After they'd taken my AM vital signs, I snuck past the nurses and boarded the elevator. When I got to, I think it was 1F, I think. I walked out of the outpatient clinic doors and walked outside of the hospital. We're taking Station B to get out. That's a record. How many can you stack? Please do tell if it stacks, and if it gets into the double digits. My goal was the place that I had been told about not long ago, the faraway B station, not the nearby A station. It wasn't that I wanted to escape or anything. Then why the fuck are we out here? At 7F or at home, none of us died anywhere else. That's what I'd been told. And this B station, with this girl named Setsumi had apparently been to many times. That's why, at least just once, I wanted to see this place with my own eyes. It's not if there's going to be a guard on duty. Even so, we were inhabitants of 7F, different from other patients. Impatience. Was that? And thinking of vague maybes so early in the morning, I headed toward that station. My legs settled into a lazy gait as I glanced sidelong on the people commuting to school or work. Okay. The quick flashback. After about 25 minutes of this, I arrived in front of the station. What? Just going across town to see a train station? I guess. I mean, I assume I assume we're going to take the train. Roughly 4 bus stops away when I calculated out. Wow, there are a lot of people here. It's my first impression of the B station. I stood out a bit because I was in pajamas. But I felt that if I could just buy a subway ticket, I'd be able to go anywhere, no question about it. But you make it's a train station, but you have to make it so scummy sounding. I had no idea why I'd been told to go to the B station, not the A station. But it looks like it would be easy to escape if I really wanted to. She must have come here many times herself. So why did she remain on 7F right now? The station in the early morning. I stood there thinking those thoughts as I watched the people rapidly passing me by. That night, after lights out, bored of manga and unable to sleep, I wandered through the hospital alone. Certainly, it wasn't supposed to be allowed after lights out, but we of 7F had a peculiar kind of liberty. So in the presence of no light, in the pitch black stillness of the lounge, that was where I found her. Can I see her, by the way? There's been images of this. Hey, have you been looking outside today? Yeah. The darkened interior, she did answer me. But she continued to stare at the window as if he had not. I immediately lost what had happened today. She's pissed. I hope not, then it would turn into a horror game. A ghost. She's already dead. Oh, by the way, I went out to the station today. The B station, just as you taught me.
So,
I see. But her response did not change. I thought that she was back with something, but because she'd been there before too. But now that I thought about it, did the fact that she was here mean that she had no intention of escaping in the first place?
私、
I'm going to be home
も
soon.
うすぐ
What? She opened her mouth abruptly and spoke as she had been seen right through me.
でも
But next time
次
will
で
be the
3回
third
目だから
time.
もう会えないかもね。
So we may not see each other again. Yeah, I guess. Probably what she was talking about was her temporary discharge from the hospital. She told me that nobody was discharged from 7F more than 3 times. Unlike the elderly, given the progress of diseases, this meant all the more to young people like us. Her "we may not see each other again" was filled with that kind of meaning. Oh, which one have you decided on?
どちらを選ぶの？
Which one have you decided on? Decided on? No looking, only backgrounds.
どっちで死ぬつもりってこと？
Where you're going to die. I don't know, considering the fact that we had a pretty shitty, dismissive family, maybe I'll go down swinging with them. A real gladiator's death, goddammit. Yeah, it's a hard-hitting question, ain't it? When that word death came up so abruptly, I was a total loss for words. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet.
そう
I see. It's just your first time, after all. She murmured, looking desolate. Certainly, it wasn't as if I was going to exist here forever. Just like everyone else, I would be admitted into the charge, slowly grow weak, and someday, I'd have to choose in the end, here in 7F or at home, surrounded by those fake smiles.
私は
I don't want to die at
家
home,
は嫌。だけど
but I don't want to die here either. Then what will you do?
別に
I guess
どうもし
the
ない
only thing
自力で歩け
is
る
to go
口は
somewhere, but I still have to
どこ
strike
かに
to.
置くだけ
Somewhere? You can't be. The girl who was staying here on 7S when she could have escaped any time she wanted. When I thought of that, do you have any other places to go?
あなた
Do you
私を引き止め
want
た
to
いの
stop me? What?
それとも
Or do you want to come with me?
Yes.
Well, no, that wasn't what I was thinking
じゃ
about.
あ聞かないで
Then don't ask. She was staring out the window as she spoke, dispassionate, not looking at me once, the same as ever. But then, and just then, her usually expressionless face looked so very sad to me. I don't get to see it. I was a newcomer to 7F, just recently taught that the third discharge was the last, and she was a girl who soon was to be discharged for the second time. Girl is depressed. Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, this blinding white at a hospital floor doesn't help. And it seems like the only entertainment is TV. How long have we known her? Why are we considering running away with her? Oh, it's been like... I mean, not very long, if we're talking like right now, but like in universe, it's been like... I've been keeping terrible attention. At most a small year, at least like a few months. We have known her for some time. And she, I did not feel anything real about what was happening to me. But would I too come to wear such a face someday? Also, it kind of seems like both of them don't really have anyone they would call a companion, or a friend, or a good family. If the dialogue is to go, anything to go off of. So, I mean, that makes sense so far. The rain at morning twilight. Sometimes sleep, sometimes no. Always coming down. And I was sitting there watching TV in my usual place. 7F felt as devoid of people as it always had. In fact...
面白い
Anything interesting? No, completely boring. She walked to my side. Saying no more, she sat down in the chair next to me. And that's how we began watching TV on this very day as well. She was probably in the same boat as me. Nothing else to do, nothing else we could do. Oh. I'd never seen her respond to the TV before. Is something the matter?
別に
Not really. Those were her usual words, but her response was anything but usual. I looked at the screen, any interest in anything that could move her so. There were nature scenes displayed on TV, beautiful hills and dales burgeoning with trees and flowers. God damn it, if she says, that's where I wanna die. I found it finally. And a vast spread of white flowers in the mist. I remember those flowers from somewhere. They looked very similar to the white flowers that decorated the windowsills. Could those be the same flowers? You know, the same ones as over there. I pointed to the flowers by the window as I said this.
違う
No. Huh? Really?
種類は同じだけど
They're the same variety, but they're not strictly the
違
same.
う
She glanced at the flowers by the window for a second, and then went back to gazing at the TV. She told me that they were different, but I couldn't see the distinction between the two. And it meant nothing to me whether flowers were the same or different. What did she mean? Was this girl who usually never said a word more than she needed to? She was conversing in rare form today, which was why I decided to follow along. Do you happen to know a lot about them? Flowers, that is.
別に
Not really. Really? But I don't see the difference. The flowers on the screen and the flowers in the vase to her side. I continued to talk as I stared stared vacantly at the two. Look, look. Are these orchard or lilies? See, they're pure white, right? I had no interest, yet I kept trying to make conversation. But she resumed her silence soon enough. After her usual lack of expression, she continued staring at the boring TV screen. And just when I turned back to the TV, resigned to the fact that I got nothing more out of her. Narcissus. What?
Narcissus yo.
Those are Narcissus. We finally see it. There she is. She has a face, ladies and gentlemen. She's not a ghost. Her eyes kind of bend into her skull. I don't know if that's normal. Also, I can see why we thought we were older. She's real. We're not going insane. As she answered, she turned to face me for the first time. Her hip-linked hair swaying, she pointed at the TV screen and looked at me. The idea blazed on her wrist was white. Her skin was white, just like the flowers on screen. Not quite the same shade of white. That would be concerning. And I swear I could see a tiny smile. It's right there. On that face, that was looking at me for the first time. It's got that man in me and out of me. Sure it does. Well, there are only like 4 chapters. Chapter 2, I forgot to read it. Silver Cubes. A few days later, plunging further into the depths of winter. During this time that the rest of the world called them exam period, we were sitting watching TV, the same as ever. This is boring. So it is. This exchange I could not even recall the conversation. We spent all our days in the fashion, killing time without meaning or purpose. Speaking of which, when is it for you? Today. I see, so it's today. That word, that today, was the temporary discharge that she alluded to earlier. So, we may not see each other again. Yeah, I guess that's true. I must go sleep. Hope you have a good rest of your stream and that the character doesn't die or something. I think she does. Let's be real. Let's split the room a little bit here at Seppi. She's dying. The cover art is her standing and like posing on like the side of a bridge. She's dying. And in that case, I'd probably be discharged and remitted myself. It didn't seem likely that things could be timed so that we could see each other again. Have you decided yet? About where I'm going to die? Yeah. No, not yet. I see. She nodded somewhat sadly, the expression of someone being discharged for the second time. I still felt like nothing about the situation, and I hadn't heard from the doctors about my first discharge. Come to think of it, I wondered if she'd finally decided what her own answer to the dilemma would be. Click, click, click. Click, click. Good night, Seppi.
説明支度できたわよ
Setsumi, everything's set. Her name's Setsumi, by the way. A lady came up to us with those words. This was probably her mother. She nodded slightly at me. I did not rise.
じゃあそろそろ行くけど用意はある
We'll be leaving soon. But are you alright? Yeah.
それでは
Well,
失礼します
have a nice day, sir. She nodded slightly at me again and then turned to leave this place. She did stretch out her hand toward that girl who was likely her daughter. But the girl did not move at all. She stayed rooted in her chair even after her mother had grabbed her hand.
どうかしたの説明
What's wrong, Setsumi?
少し
It hurts. A
苦
little.
しい
What?
苦しいってどこ
Your chest? Your abdomen?
胸
My chest.
ちょっと待ってなさい
Stay right there.
すぐに先生呼
I'll
んでく
call
る
the
から
doctors right away. She took off in visitor-use slippers in a sprint toward the nurse's station. There were nothing but 2 things left in this place. Her and me, both in chairs. I did not know anything about her disease or its status. The only things I knew were courtesy of her white ID bracelet. Her name was Setsumi, and her blood type was 0. But we were inhabitants of 0F, of 7F, and she was older than me, if just by a little. Hey, do you want to lie down over there until the doctors come? I pointed at the corner of the lounge at the couch, at something that I had never seen used. What couch? There is no couch in here. It'll support your back after all.
別に
Doesn't matter. I'm
もう
fine
平
now.
気よ
Saying those words and nothing more, she stood up quickly. Hey, wait. Don't do anything foolish. She was already half down the corridor before I could finish the sentence. Nightfall, after lights out. Bored of reading manga as usual, I wandered through the darkened hospital. The usual lounge, now pitch dark from the absence of light. That was where I found her. Hey, so you're still here? Yeah. What's up? Not feeling well again?
別に
Not really. Was all she said as she stared at the window. So it did try to have been postponed after all. No one knew when the next chance would come, but it would probably be weeks from now, not days. Hey, could it be that you feigned illness today? No, that probably was the right way to put it. See, you couldn't say that we weren't sick all the time. What I'm saying is, you didn't want to leave the hospital, did you?
意味がわからな
I
いわ
don't know
よ
what you're talking about. Because there's no afterwards for you now. But there was no answer to my question in her silence. I mean, it's kind of a heavy question to just fucking drop on somebody. She had asked me so many times before about where I wanted to die. And it had always been that I didn't know yet, and that she didn't want to die at home or here on 7F. So you have no other place to go after all.
だったら
And what of it?
どうな
No, nothing. This familiar lounge flooded in darkness. A familiar stance looking out the window without as much as acknowledging my existence. This place we called the hospital and extinguished lights in spite of the fact that it was only 11 p.m. or so. This was the tangent point between what was normal and what was not. On top of that, we were inhabitants of 7F, bereft of any choice save one: death on 7F or death at home. The outside world that she was staring at from the pitch black height of 7F, the normal world. The buildings at home were still radiant with light, and the street overflowed with people going home. And although my awareness of it was still vague, I was already an inhabitant of 7F, already an abominable existence. There was no longer any way for me to go back to the other world, was there now? My time is at a standstill. I'd spent so many seasons, so many white overcast skies without the want or need to converse with anybody. At first I would look down at the healthy kids going to school and the people walking back and forth on the streets. And when I got tired of that, I always watched TV, nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Even then there was snow outside the window, it was always bright and sunny inside the TV screen. A dream would stretching out from my eyes without heat, without cold, without pain. I sought comfort from my imagination, and so I amassed a huge knowledge base. Meaningless trivia upon meaningless trivia over and over. Before I knew it, nothing that appeared on TV seemed real anymore. And in quick succession it also happened too. Books, games, and then my family. Finally, I was unable to view myself as anything real, as if I was staring at scenes of another person's life. That's why I was not surprised when it transferred me to 7F. If I but closed my eyes, the world would always vanish. And so I thought I'd be fine, and I did as I thought. And soon enough, my second discharge from the hospital. By the time of my next admission, I would probably be too weak to stand for myself. I found my own self, the one who couldn't do anything, even though she knew this, to be pitiful. I found my own self, the one who had no destination, to be ridiculous.
時間を止め
My time at a
心を
standstill.
止め
My heart at a standstill. My chest standing still with huge scars.
それでも
I'd lived for 22 years now, and I found myself utterly helpless.
哀れだと思った。
We saw her again, by the way, in the reflection. January 19th. A few days after that, the overhanging clouds clear up, and an endless winter sky was in their place. Oddly enough, my father had come to visit, a difficult expression on his face the entire time. But he was saying something or about my insurance, and at that time his eyes were not unhappy at all. I have to talk to the doctors for a bit. Saying this, my father strode down the corridor, toward that dim conference room where this has all begun, or so it seemed. My hospital room was now empty. Having nothing to do now, I reached for the weekly magazines that I had bought at the stands for me, and accompanying them, just as ever, there were fruits and drinks at gifts. And to one side of the basket that the fruits were piled in, right in front of the melons that I so hated. I could say it at least, or maybe add some excitement to eat something you hate. What I saw was a set of car keys. The keys shone silver. Those were the keys to my father's pride and joy. That coupe that he'd sweated over from the upholstery on upwards. The coupe that I asked to borrow a long time ago, and I'd been told no, without a single second's delay. And my still unused driver's license in the breast pocket of my pajamas. But do we not have like a little thing beside the bed that we could have put it in? Has it been in our breast pocket for all this time? Have we never changed clothes, taken a bath, done laundry? Gotta stick to high heavens. Even after I'd lost a chance for that day, it remained with me waiting, as it were its proof of life. In silence, I grabbed the keys. It happened as one impulse. I had no idea what my motives were either. I just seized them without a second thought, as if I was looking at a scene on TV. And a few days' worth of meds that had been dispensed, I stuffed them into a bag, and I headed down the corridor. I snuck past the nurse's station, and quickly strode toward the elevators. A bag in my right hand and the keys in my left, the long-neglected driver's license in my breast pocket. In front of the lounge, and the next thing I saw was the girl sitting there watching TV as per usual, staring blankly and boredly at that screen, sitting on a little foldable chair. Hey, that show any good?
そう見える。
Does it look that way to you? No, not at all. The all too expected change. Her eyes looked as far away as they always had. Well then, shall we go together? What? I continued talking as I showed her the keys in my hand. See, I don't want to be at home.
私は
And I don't want to be on 7F either. Well then, shall we go together? Okay. With that, she stood up from her chair. Her hair swayed with her and graced the tip of my nose. And then she too stuffed a few days' worth of meds in a bag. We made to leave 7F together. We're going on a joyride! Hell yeah! I switched up that boring TV. The grating laugh of the MC was forever obliterated. Both of us in pajamas clad boarded the elevator, heading down this top floor down to 1F. At 1F, we headed not for the ER entrance, but for the outpatient clinic's entrance. The cold winter air struck away at our faces, all the more strong in a wide open space like the parking lot. The two of us wandered around the spacious field, looking about ourselves with unease, and after a little while we came across my father's car. The silver coupe, my father's pride and joy, impeccably maintained. I immediately inserted the key and opened the door. Go ahead, get in.
分かった。
Very well. Alright, it's been like a year without us driving. Can we drive? Is it a thing? She was in the passenger seat, and she was so short that I have a hard time seeing the road. I turned the key into ignition and stepped lightly on the accelerator, just as I had learned during training. Reassuring engine noises filtered into the cabin. I released the handbrake and then applied the clutch. Now we could go anywhere. That was our plan. Alright, let's go. Okay. She nodded slightly. Instead of applying, I shifted into second gear, and the car accelerated smoothly. Unused to the clutch and swerving slightly, I advanced slowly. You're swerving? Yeah, it's my first time in a car. Well, it's the first time since I got my license that I've driven a car. I see. The exit to the parking lot was now in view, and the largest road beyond it without traffic lights. I turned into it. Sound of honking car horns. Those were directed at me, so I cut into the road. The silver coupe complained, but did not stop as I worked the unfamiliar clutch, the stiff gearbox. I must really have rubbed the other drivers the wrong way as the honking of horns did not seem likely to cease. But I just continued to drive without caring much. None of it quite seemed real at all. Hey. What is it? Are you scared? Do you want me to be? No, not really. Still before noon, the high-flying sun. The skies of January, above and beyond the window shield. Skies so blue that they'd seem almost in morning. We had no destination. On that cold day with an alien clutch and a serving car. On that day when we drove onto the highway in our pajamas. On that very day of winter. January 19, 2005. Ibaraki Mito Highway. Around when that blazing high sun had changed into a dusky orange. We were continuing to drive, just driving any direction at random, and in a place that I did not recognize. We were stopping for a bit. Okay. I finally brought the car to a halt. A roadside somewhere far away from civilization. No traffic anywhere to be seen. Lonely. Having stopped the car in this nameless place, I started inspecting around the cabin. As if there was anything useful here. We just run off without any preparation at all, but there was something troubling leaping out at me. With that on my mind, I first scoured the dashboard. There's nothing here at all. A couple hundred yen cluttered around the gearbox, a few manga volumes, and a cheap disposable camera. It wasn't as if we had a destination, but the onboard GPS navigation system looked broken. And I only had about 8,000 yen on me. That was all the money I had lying around when I up and left. Some kind of the pocket change I found, I only had 9,000 yen or so. Of course, I hadn't really expected there'd be anything in the car anyway. But this lack of money presented a problem. It wouldn't be possible for us to find lodging on this budget. It didn't seem like this girl would have any money on her either. Is something the matter? No, it's nothing. Whatever. I would have expected this from the beginning. Wasn't if I thought this through enough to things like a plan or a schedule. I just wanted to get out right then and there and not want to stay where I was. Underneath the curtain of twilight, I started up the silver coupe again. Hey, are you hungry? I asked her as I drove along. Come to think of it, she hadn't eaten anything since morning. Want to stop at a convenience store or something? No. Hey, don't be like that. And the food's much better than anything up on 7F. She did not respond to me. Instead, she looked straight down at the pink pajamas she was wearing. Oh yeah, that's right. I looked out at my own clothing. Sure enough, in these pajamas, we'd be conspicuous no matter where we went. Not that we weren't conspicuous right now. In any case, we'd have to do something about them. And having my decision, I steered back towards civilization. After a little more driving, we'd arrived at a place whose name I didn't know. Probably somewhere close to a rail station. Certainly enough people around for it to be that case. There's gotta be one around here somewhere. I looked around anxiously as I drove. My back pitched a little forward, not touching the seat. Ah, there one is. Classed, a coin laundromat. It looked pretty run down from the outside, on the first floor of a small, forlorn building. This was a good place. As any. I stopped the car not far from the entrance to this place. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Huh? Leaving her in a confused face in the car, I walked into the laundromat. My nose was filled with the smell of bleach and detergent the moment the automatic doors opened. The exterior of the laundromat had told no lie. The washer and dryers were old and run down as well. There's nobody here. The empty laundromat was swallowed by murmured words. Only a single dryer was in operation, making its characteristic humming noises. I immediately walked to that machine, checked its timer. Looked like it would operate for 30 minutes on 200 yen, and only 5 minutes had left, so whoever it had probably goes somewhere else to kill some time. We're still closed, I guess. We're still in it. Ruminating over this, I looked around just one more time to reassure myself that no one was around. Then, satisfied that I was all alone, I put my hand on the door handle of that drying machine, and I abruptly opened it. Its doors opened during operation. The dryer spun down to a forced halt. I pulled out a clump of half-dry clothing, ignoring the heat and the humidity. And after looking around one more to make sure no one's around, I walked out of the laundry, just like that. I mean, look, I get the idea, but you don't even know if the clothes are gonna fit you. What if it's a parent doing their kids' clothing? She sounded slightly surprised when she saw my arms full of clothing, but I threw the clothes in the back seat without a word. Alright, let's go. I looked back at a bundle of clothes with the steering wheel in one hand. Gaudy looking sweaters and jeans and almost nothing else, all in pretty big sizes at that. All still wet, the car is heating but drying out soon. Change into whatever you like. She didn't react much to those words either. She just looked back at the pile of clothes. Look, we had no choice. I know. Well, obviously, it wasn't if I liked doing this kind of thing. I mean, I'm not a thief, what a regular. How would you dare accuse me of such a thing? I'm driving out this cliff if you so much as dare try to insinuate it. It wasn't as if anything I was saving that money for. It was just that given the amount we had, it would be very difficult to buy new clothes. After I'd driven for a bit, around with the moon shone full above us, I stopped the car next to some public park, probably a place for children to play, tucked away in the corner of a residential area. And there I started looking for the clothes I had stolen some time back. When you say it like that, it sounds like I've been there for days. It's been a couple hours, right? But mostly dry by now, thanks to the heating of the car. All men's clothing, after all. I inspected the heap once before, a veritable amount of gaudy jeans and sweaters. Probably someone around my age. Around the same size, looked like. How convenient for you, not so much for her. And sitting in the driver's seat of the car, I changed into a pair of jeans and a sweater. Hey, you should get changed too. They're all too big. Will you go on wearing pajamas forever? Fine. Changed reluctantly, grabbed some jeans and out of clothes and opened the door. Hey, where are you going? To get changed. And just like that, she started walking to the park's bathroom. Hey, that was fast. She'd come back in short order. The pink pajamas she'd been wearing on her hands, a white shirt and a pair of jeans on her body. Well, that turned out fairly well. No answer. I'd expected this, but everything was too big and baggy on her. The jeans were too long and rolled up far up at the cuffs, and the sleeves of the shirt were much the same way. The pajamas were better. Come on now, don't say that. It's a little warmer this way at least. At this point, why don't we just rob someone and buy new clothes? We already robbed someone, just not of their money. She made an only slightly dissatisfied face at my words. Oh, I said it. Were you hoping for more girly clothes? Not really. Same response as ever. I was sure that she was unhappy with her baggy shirt, but she soon returned to her usual lack of expression. It had begun to rain all of a sudden. A freezing rain falling from the richer January skies had forgotten how to stop. The countless raindrops spattering on the window shield, obscuring the view from the inside, and when each grew too large for surface to hold it, A few of them gathered, slid down, became rivers. And these rivers swallowed up raindrops underneath them and ran to the bottom. I stared emptily at the rain from inside. A parking lot somewhere, a desolate place in the middle of the mountaintops. Having finished shopping at a convenience store, it was tempting light here. The dinner menu: 2 rice balls, 500 milliliter Pocari Sweat, half a bag of potato chips. It's been a long time since we last did anything like this. Yeah. Smell rip with a convenience store rice ball in one hand. It wasn't anything of wonderful quality, but it was far better than anything served up in 7F. And we were both going after the potato chip. Tipsy suddenly stopped reaching for it. Is something the matter? Not really. But her eyes were turned past the windshield glazed by the rain, and a few white flowers on the roadside. At some flowers soaked by the rain. I don't know if someone had planted them there, or if they were wild, but I remembered something about them. Were those narcissus? Those are narcissus. Alright, narcissus. I didn't know flower names all that well. I at least heard of narcissus before. Yes, because she told you about them. She told you earlier. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with these. And this girl whom seldom spoke a single word was actually talking about something. And so I followed along. Yet again. And speaking of which, are these not exactly the real deal as well? Yeah. Something like that. So they must be pretty rare then. Not really. You can find them anywhere. Anywhere? Where exactly? It wasn't for any deep purpose in asking. It was just that I was making conversation as best as I could. And yet this girl thought about it for a bit. And slowly opened her mouth. West. West? Abaji Island is famous for them. Abaji Island? Hey, wait. How far away do you think that is? I just started driving a car, so I wasn't even halfway proficient yet. It's probably about 700 kilometers away, and even on tall ways I couldn't say how long it would take. And in the first place, I didn't think we had enough money for that. If we went by normal highways instead of the tollways, there's no way we'd have enough gas. If you only have, well, at this point we're down by like 8,000 yen. I don't think you would have to buy gas multiple times for 700 kilometers, wouldn't you? Hey, don't say stuff like that. You can't mean to go there, right? Who said I wanted to go? What? I just answered your question. And just like that, she went back to staring at the flowers across the windshield. The thick haze of the cold rain streaming on glass, she kept gazing and gazing and gazing. I didn't particularly want to go there either, but I had nowhere else that I wanted to go. Map. This has been a lot of reading. So, I mean, it makes sense. I think I'm gonna stop here for today, and we're gonna finish this another time. I know, it was getting exciting. God, the fucking white background hurts my eyes. We are rating someone. I just gotta find someone. No one that I know is live. Great. Fantastic. Let's see. Oh, I rated them before, I think. Not same one. Twice. Let's see. Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Start here. Thanks everyone for coming in. I'll see y'all next time.